Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist, and today I'm going to be doing a Pyramid of Light Sphinx deck. So this is a really neat deck that was made back in 2004 based around the first Yu-Gi-Oh movie, which is the Thinny and the Great Sphinx and Pyramid of Light, which is a really neat card that has just a simple effect of if this card is removed from the field, then you destroy Andros and Telia Sphinx, which gets us into our Thinny and the Great Sphinx, which is a really cool card. But without further ado, guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description because we have some awesome rewards for you guys, like getting your name in the description of every single video, getting a signed card sent to you the mail, or even getting to request a deck profile just like this one every single month that you are a patron. So let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're going to be playing a single copy of Thinny and the Great Sphinx. So this is a really neat card that basically is, you have to pay 500 life points to special summon this card from your hand or deck when both Andros and Telia Sphinx are destroyed, which is a really cool concept of the deck. It also has the effect of that you can pay an additional 500 life points when it is summoned to increase its attack by 3,000, going all the way up to 6,500, which is a really cool 6,500 beat stick that's basically a oh my god, my field just got destroyed button, which is kind of neat. So then we play 3 copies of Andros Sphinx. Andros Sphinx and Sphinx Telia kind of do the same thing, but we're going to go over Andros Sphinx first. Both of them have the ability that you have to pay 500 life points to special summon them while you have Pyramid of Light on the field. And then this card cannot attack during the turn that was normal or special summon. This card cannot be special summoned from the graveyard. They both share that ability. But Andros Sphinx has a really neat effect of, if this card destroys a defense position monster as a result of battle, you inflict damage to your opponent equal to half the attack of that monster. Then we play 3 copies of Sphinx Telia. Sphinx Telia's effect is that this card cannot, if this card destroys a defense position monster as a result of battle, they share the exact same effect, except this one inflicts damage equal to the defense of the opponent's monster, where Andros Sphinx inflicts the attack points, which is kind of neat. But you want to play them at 3 and 3 because they're not once per turn for special summoning each other. So like if you have your copy of Pyramid of Light on your side of the field, then you can immediately special summon. If you have all of these in your hand, you can pay like 3,000 life points and then special summon like 5 of them first, and then overlay 2 of them together to make Gustav Max, and then Juggernaut Libby, and then special summon out the last one to your side of the field, which is kind of cool too. Then I play a really neat tech card that's a 2 of that you guys are probably never going to expect in this deck, but we're going to play Guess That Card with this one. So it's a really old card. That's my only hint I'm going to give you. It came out within the first 12 booster sets. I'll give you that. So anyways, guys, definitely tell me what this is down the comments down below, and we're going to reveal it in 3, 2, 1. I guarantee you the majority of you guys are not going to get this one. So it is going to be 2 copies of Berserk Dragon. Yes, I have never played this in an entire deck. I've never ever played this in a deck until now, because this card actually works insanely well in this deck. And it's really cool that you can actually play Berserk Dragon in a deck. But what this card does is, it cannot be normal summoner set. It must be special summoned with a deal with the Dark Ruler. And its effect is this card cannot, and it cannot be special summoned by other ways. And this card can attack all monsters your opponent controls once each, and then during each of your end phases, it loses 500 attack points. Summoning a 3,500 beat stick that can attack everything on the field is really good. And to deal with the Dark Rulers, its simple effect is that you just have to have a level 8 or higher monster under your control be destroyed, leave the field. It's really neat because you just chain it to the Pyramid of Light being destroyed, or your Andros or Telia Sphinx being destroyed by any effect, being destroyed by battle, being destroyed by card effect, anything. You chain a deal with the Dark Ruler, you summon Berserk Dragon, and then you start OTKing your opponent with Berserk Dragon slowly by just attacking their board over and over again. And you can actually chain multiple copies of the card, which is cool to be able to summon both Berserk Dragons and be able to attack your opponent. So, I've always wanted to play this card in some deck, and finally I got the chance. Then we play 3 copies of Apprentice Piper. Apprentice Piper is a neat card because you can flip summon this card, special summon a monster from your hand, or if this card is destroyed by battle, then you can special summon a card from your hand, which you can special summon Andros and Telia Sphinx with this card, which is super neat. I really like that effect to be able to just get it out on the field. 1 copy of Morphing Jar. This deck does run out of resources really quickly, and you're trying to dig through the deck, which you'll see in the spell cards. You're trying to dig through the deck to get Pyramid of Light in your Andros and Telia Sphinx as quickly as possible. You don't want to draw your Berserk Dragon or your Thinian, but it's okay because we play something that can deal with that if you do draw them. But the Morphing Draw really helps out because it's a good first turn play to get all the cards that are draw cards out of your hand, set them on the field, set that Morphing Draw on your side of the field, and then let your opponent search and attack into this card, and then you draw 5, your opponent draws 5. It just helps out a lot. Then we play a single copy of Acadaville Omen. This is a really old card that if it's flipped face up, you get to select a trap card in your deck and place it on top of your deck, which, go figure, Pyramid of Light is a trap card. So you can just immediately put that Pyramid of Light on top of your deck to be able to draw it next turn, to be able to start your plays going crazy with your Andros and Telia Sphinx. Now, granted, you will have to set it on your turn, and this is a little bit of a slow way to get to it, but it is an option to be able to get into it a little bit further. Hopefully, since we'll be getting all the nostalgic Duelist stuff, like with Cubics getting new support and all the villains in Duelist of the Gloom getting support, maybe we'll get some Pyramid of Light support. That's what I'm hoping, and they turn Pyramid of Light into a field spell, which would be kind of cool. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. Not a lot of monsters. So for the spells, we're going to be trying to dig through the deck, so we're going to be playing a lot of draw cards. So, 1 copy of Upstart Goblin, play a 39 card deck. 1 copy of 1 for 1, play a 38 card deck. This card also lets it make so you don't take damage while your opponent doesn't take damage either for the next turn and the remainder of this turn, which is kind of cool. We play 3 copies of Dark World Dealings because we have plenty of cards that we don't mind discarding to the graveyard to dig through the deck to get our copies of Pyramid of Light, Andros and Telia Sphinxes, and stuff like that. We play 3 copies of Pot of Duality because sometimes you will open up the Pyramid of Light, and if you open up Pyramid of Light, you're going to have to set it and then go to your opponent's turn and then activate it during your opponent's turn. So you're not going to special summon during your turn. That's why you play the Piper Apprentice and you play the Acadaville Omen and Morphing Jar. Those are flip effect monsters. You set them on your field, and then the Pot of Duality takes care of the rest, where you can just add the cards that you need from your deck to your hand. Now, sometimes, I will mention you guys, sometimes this deck will brick. It's a gimmick. It's fun to play around with. It only has 4 cards in the whole archetype. But I really wanted to build a deck based around Thinian. So we're going to turbo through it with 3 copies of Magical Mallet. If you do brick, this is how you fix the brick. Yes, it is a -1, but what you're trying to do is get out Juggernaut Libby or Thinian the Great Sphinx. If you get out either one of those, usually you're going to OTK your opponent and you're going to win. So, you use this to shuffle back the bricks. If you draw into multiple copies of Pyramid of Light, if you draw into Thinian the Great Sphinx, Berserk Dragon, you just shuffle it back into the deck with Magical Mallet, draw the same amount of cards, you put it back in your deck. Really helpful, really helps you get those extra plays off. Now again, we're playing a deck that you play a trap card in, where you're trying to activate the trap card during your opponent's turn and then go off on turn 3, which is something that just happens with this deck. It's just the way the deck functions. So, we're going to be playing 3 of an OG old school card that you guys are going to go, what? But it works. And that is 3 copies of Swords Revealing Light. This is kind of weird for me, but the Swords Revealing Light comes in super handy to me. You could change it out if you want to for Battle Fader, but I like the extra advantage of being able to keep the cards off the field. When you use this card, it flips all face-up cards your opponent controls, or all face-down monsters your opponent controls to face-up, and it doesn't trigger flip effects. Also, that's really good against Shadows if you go against Shadows, by the way. That's hilarious if you go against Shadows with this deck, and you activate Swords Revealing Light, and they're like, who plays that? I do. It also makes sure so your opponent cannot attack for the next 3 turns while this card is facing on the field, and you put a counter on it. It doesn't take counters, but I always just put a dice on it to be able to count the amount of times when I play it in real life. But this card remains faced on the field for the next 3 of your opponent's turns, so every time your opponent ends their turn, then you basically count down, which is kind of neat. I like it if it's a 3 of because it helps alleviate the amount of times that your opponent's going to attack into you and let you attack your opponent when you're ready. So that's why it helps out in this particular deck. Would I play it in every deck? No. Does it help in this deck? Yes. Then we play 3 copies of Mound of the Bound Creator. Mound of the Bound Creator is just a 3 of in here because it protects level 10 or higher monsters you control from being destroyed by card effects. And if a level 10 or higher monster on the field destroys a monster on its battle and sends it to the graveyard, the player who controlled the destroyed monster takes an additional 1,000 points of damage, which can help out with Andros and Telia Sphinx because it just gives them extra burn. And then we play 3 copies of A Deal with the Dark Ruler. A Deal with the Dark Ruler is something I never mind drawing because you can just activate this card if your Sphinx Telia or Andros Sphinx is destroyed. You just immediately put this card on the field and then special summon that Berserk Dragon, which is really, really neat. I love that. It's really cool. And if you guys can tell me in the comments down below how Berserk Dragon fits into the Dark Ruler Hades lore, I will definitely give you guys a heart. So let's get into the traps, guys. That is it for the spells. So for the spells, or for the traps, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Pyramid of Light. You've got to play 3 Pyramid of Light, at least 2, and we're going to be playing 3 copies of Torrential Tribute. Torrential Tribute blows board, which can blow up your Tellius Sphinx and your Andro Sphinx, which can help out to be able to get out your Athenian the Great Sphinx. You can also trade this out if you don't feel like it's working fast enough. You can trade it out for 3 copies of Dark Hole. That is an option for you guys if you want to play Dark Hole. I almost played 3 Dark Holes and 3 Torrential Tributes, but I was like, God, that's a lot of destruction. But it comes in handy. The Torrential Tributes come in handy because it does stall your opponent out. If you don't draw into that Swords Revealing Light, the 1 day apiece, you can always have the Torrential Tribute to blow board. And the Pyramid of Light can come in really handy because it doesn't really matter if it gets destroyed, because you're just going to basically special summon Thenian. If they do destroy it and you have Tellia, Sphinx, and Andro Sphinx on the side of the field, you're just going to special summon that copy of Thenian and be able to attack your opponent with Thenian for 6,500. So that's it for the main deck, guys. I will mention, you guys, literally the only effect of Pyramid of Light is that if this card is face up, remove from your side of the field and you destroy Andros and Tellius Sphinx on your side of the field and remove them from play. That's all this card does. That's kind of funny. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into that extract. So with the extract, you don't have to use a lot of these cards, but they do come in handy. I play a single copy of Juggernaut Levy because it's easy to go into level 10s in this deck. Number 81, again, really easy to go into level 10s in this deck, so you use this to go into your copy of your Juggernaut Levy, which helps us OTK. 2 copies of Gustav Max. Gustav Max just burns your opponent for an additional 2,000 each time you detach a material. You can actually make 2 of these really easily by flipping Pyramid of Light on your opponent's turn and then immediately special summon 4 of your Sphinxes, which comes up sometimes. You'll summon all 4 of them, detach 2 materials from this, or detach a material from this, and then burn your opponent for 1,000 for each one. 1 copy of number 77. We do play the Spider Engine in here as well, which is number 77, number 84, and number 35, Pain Gainer. Usually I just go into number 35 because the difference between my life points and my opponent's life points, all my monsters gain that attack points, which is super cool. I really love that effect of being able to gain all that life points or all the attack points. And if my opponent special summons a monster, then they lose 600 points of damage. And also, you can detach material from this card, destroy all face-up monster your opponent controls with attack less than or equal to this card's. 1 copy of Appaloosa. I don't make this all the time, but it comes up sometimes, so I play it as a 1 of. 1 copy of Boral Sword. Boral Sword is kind of neat because you can OTK your opponent really easily with it, and it just requires effect monsters. 1 copy of BLS, the Soldier of Chaos. This card's really neat because it just requires a level 7 or higher monster, plus 2 other monsters to summon this card. Essentially, they have to be different names. So that's something you gotta kind of watch out for in this deck. And also, this card can gain 1,500 attack points, and it can make a second attack during each battle phase, or banish a card, which is kind of neat. Nightmare Unicorn just to bounce stuff, Phoenix to pop spells and traps, Cerberus to pop monsters, Underclock Taker because it can give us a big boost on our attack points and reducing in our opponent's attack points, which can help us a lot to be able to OTK. And a single copy of Alamirage because you're gonna come into scenarios where you're gonna want to like normal summon out your Princess Piper because you don't have anything to summon, and you want to go for Alamirage to protect your Pyramid of Light, which can come in handy. Or not your Pyramid of Light, to protect like your Thenian the Great Sphinx or your Berserk Dragon, which can come in sometimes. So it's just a really good 1 of. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. It's a really neat deck. Would I carry it to a tournament? Maybe not. I don't know. I mean, I would carry it to locals. It'd be fun at locals. Especially if you guys were doing like a GOAT format or something like that. It'd be neat to do something like that. But change up a couple of the cards in the main deck to be more GOAT format. But it's a fun deck to play around with, just to see if you can get that Thenian the Great Sphinx out on your side of the field. And summoning the Berserk Dragon. It's really funny when you actually OTK your opponent and they're like, what just hit me? What just happened here? So anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.